Hi, this is Sweeney and Laura Paradis' presentation of an infographic, and our presentation is the Peace Index map from Vision of Humanity, and I do believe it's visionofhumanity.org. And so there are a few things with Yi et al.'s taxonomy that this ACES does really fantastically. So one of the main things it does really well is it provides different levels of abstraction and elaboration. So from the map as is, you can hover over a country and see its ranking. Then you can click it, and it provides you more information about that country in this bar on the left. Like the cost of violence and some of these more abstracted markers, as well as the ranking and the GPS score. I don't necessarily know what it is, but I mean, if once you play with this for a little while, you kind of get a sense of the different markers. And then, so you can dive into these factors more and see a more in-depth display of the different markers of peace and not peace. And what's great is that if you don't understand what one of these is, you can hover over and you get another level of elaboration. So there is about 3 or 4 levels of elaboration here, and I think that makes it really useful. You can also, and there's a couple of different functions here. And the global rankings allows an abstraction of just to see the ranking of how the countries stack up against each other, because it's kind of hard to see from the map itself. The map is good for exploration, but it's not so great for actually comparing, and this allows you to really see how the countries align next to each other. The other thing it does really well is exploration. So this is a pretty dense infographic, and there's a couple different, or I guess interactive graphic. There are a couple of things that it does that could, they could also be considered filters, but you can switch the dates, so you can see how the peace index changed over time, and you can explore the map in different ways over time. Or you can also zoom into specific countries like the US and view that over time as well. And that allows you to sort of explore different ways. Another thing it does really well is you can tag a country or a state and explore it and compare it on the left-hand side. So while this elaboration interaction works for getting more, or this interaction works for elaboration, you can also use it to compare, which is kind of cool. It's not that easy to like once you start having multiple or a handful of things to compare, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of challenging on the attention and memory, but if you specifically want to look at just a couple states, state or countries, it works really well. Okay, so one other thing is the ability to filter. So that you can filter by a specific factor. For instance, homicide. You can see that Louisiana, not so great, stays red. Let's see what happens with Illinois. Illinois was not so great in the 90s, but was better later. But how are they with incarceration? Wow, that really changed. So there's this filter function on the left-hand side. You could also consider this, like I said before, the dates to be a change in filter. Okay, so the ability to view different maps could also be considered encoding. And then 2 things that this does that's not part of that Yi taxonomy is the panning and zooming, which isn't explicitly part of that, but part of other taxonomies. And then details on demand, which I guess is just another way of saying elaboration. and this does that really well. Sort of zooming in on that. One of the things that's kind of difficult with this interactive graphic is the ability to compare and connect. So there's a lot of, because it's so dense, the information is so dense, it seems like it's kind of hard to really, like if you wanted to track a specific set of variables, it can be kind of difficult, just because of all the amount of information that's displayed. And this is more about general information and like diving in deep with a specific country or state than comparing a set of states. So, okay, well that's it. Thanks.